Hello and welcome to BlueTube, where we talk all things blue. Today, the rumor mill is just blowing up. Now, this is probably going to be one of the most exciting transfer talk videos ever made because, as you know, Chelsea's transfer window has been very quiet so far. And just, after the Manchester City defeat, I think the one positive thing about that defeat was the fact that Mourinho's waking up. Abramovich is waking up. The board is realizing that we need transfers and we're gonna suffer if we don't sign any players. So we're being linked with so many players, and also because I didn't make a transfer talk video yesterday, there's just so much news to pack in here. By the way, yesterday I did a match review of the City game. I'm sure you don't really want to, in fact, don't watch it. Just don't, okay? Just get it out of our heads and let's move on to this. Now, the one positive from yesterday, from the game against City, was that the Baba Rahman signing was announced immediately afterwards. And this actually happened yesterday or 2 days ago. And it happened a while ago. It's just that I haven't made a video of transfer talk since then. I'm sure you've already heard of it. He's taking the number 17 shirt, playing left back. And this does open up the room for Cesar Azpilicueta to move to the right back position and kind of replace Ivanovic. Because Ivanovic, I did make a video on him previously as well. And I said that I fully support him. And I do think he's still a great player. I do think that he's still one of the best right backs in the Premier League. But he's lacking pace, and it's showing. It showed against Montero in Swansea, and it showed against Sterling in Manchester City. And it's just not a good sign. So it's really good to have this extra backup. And I'm very happy. But even though we did sign Baba Rahman, we're still being linked with Galatasaray's left back, Alex Telles. And this is very strange. Because we were linked with him about a week ago. No, we were first linked with him about 3 weeks ago. And then the media kind of realized that Baba Rahman was who we're going to sign. And Alex Telles kind of died off. And then just a few days ago, he kind of came back up. And then Baba Rahman got signed, so you'd expect the Alex Telles rumors to go down. But it's being reported again. I don't think it's going to happen. But, as a reporter, I must report to you. Here you go. And now, let's get to some more interesting things. Now, this is where things just get crazy. Firstly, John Stones. We know who he is. We've heard his name about 1 billion times per day for the last, month or so. We've tabled a 20 million bid, 26 million pound bid, and just yesterday, or today actually, we tabled a 30 million pound bid for John Stones. Finally, it took long enough, and it hasn't been officially reported whether it's accepted or not, but the Telegraph, which is a very reliable source, is saying that Everton are holding out for 40 million pounds. 40 million pounds. Are they crazy? And this just got me thinking, I had doubts about John Stones before. When I initially heard of the 30 million price tag for John Stones, I thought, this is crazy. But as the time went on, I kind of grew to it. And I thought, 30 million, I can live with it. He'd be a good signing. We need some reinforcements in our defense. He'd be a good signing. But 40 million, that's crazy, guys. And if you guys remember, about 2 or 3 seasons ago when David Luiz left, he left for 50 million euros, which was 40 million pounds back then. Of course, nowadays the euro is kind of failing, but let's not get economical. David Luiz left for 40 million pounds. John Stones, Everton want 40 million pounds. And David Luiz, I remember the last few months at Chelsea, he wasn't really, the fans didn't really support him that much, and because he was getting forward too much and all that, I personally supported him till the end because I love him as a person. But David Luiz, and then a lot of people said 40 million pounds is so overpriced for David Luiz, and PSG got mocked so much for that. And even I thought, as a Chelsea fan, that David Luiz wasn't worth 40 million pounds. But David Luiz is a better player. He was a better player. He still is than John Stones. That's just obvious. That's just fact. And just the fact that John Stones is English makes them a bit overpriced. I get that. But 40 million pounds is absolutely ridiculous. And I hope Mourinho doesn't go for this. I hope Abramovich doesn't go for this. I hope we just stop our pursuit of John Stones now, because things are getting ridiculous. This is just dragging on for over a month now. We don't even know if we're going to make this transfer by the end of the window. I say we just kill this rumor off. Mourinho just say, we're not going for John Stones anymore. And that's what I want to happen. And that does seem to be what's happening. Because the next story, so many stories, I know. Rudiger, Antonio Rudiger, I think I mentioned him in my last transfer talk as well. Chelsea were being linked with him, and we're being, continually linked with him, which is a good sign. He's a center back, he's a German center back playing in the Bundesliga. We seem to be raiding the Bundesliga and the Bundesliga defense this year. He's from Ghana. He's very, very strong. He's very tall. He's 190 centimeters, which is 6'2". He's very physical. He's very fast, and I think that's what we need. Right now we've got John Terry and Gary Cahill. And against City, the media have been talking about this a lot. The fact that John Terry got subbed off for Kurt Zouma. And, there's been so much speculation about what this means, about whether this is John Terry's final season or whether Mourinho was trying to send a message to the board, through the game. But Mourinho in the post-match said Zouma came on the pitch because he had the pace to keep up with the game. Pace. That's what he has. That's what he offers. That's what we need. And one of the big things in our defense right now is that we don't have pace. That's not the only problem. We have multiple problems in our defense, right? But pace is one of them. And what he brings is pace and strength, and that's what Kurt Zouma has as well. So I think they could complement each other very, very well. And if you watch the Man City game, the moment Kurt Zouma came on, since halftime, our defensive troubles were nowhere near as bad as the first half. The first half was horrendous. And when Kurt Zouma came on, he brings that pace. He brings that pace that Rudiger has as well. So I think he'd make a great signing. He's £20 million, half of what Everton want for John Stones. I say we go for Rudiger. Forget Stones. He's in the past. We don't need him. Let him go to Manchester United for £40 million. I'm not even sad anymore. Just go away. And let's just sign Rudiger. By the way, tell me what you think of this, because John Stones is a very, very controversial character. I've tried to give my opinions on him before, but my opinions have changed so much throughout the last 2 or 3 weeks that I don't even know what I think about him anymore. But now that this new rumor has come to light, I'd like us to sign Rudiger. Tell me your thoughts. Another transfer story is quite a positive one, but not really a positive one, and let me tell you why. We're being linked with a 10 million transfer of the new Michael Essien, and I forgot his name. His name is Godfred Donsah. He's a central defensive mid in Cagliari in the Serie A. And if you guys have watched any of my past videos, you'll know that I'm not a fan of Ramirez. You'll know that. Let's not get into it. Basically, I want us to have a new central defensive mid. I want us to replace Ramirez. And apparently, Mourinho is thinking the same thing. Or maybe not the same thing. Maybe he's not thinking of replacing Ramirez, but he's thinking of bringing in a new player, and that's good. And because this season, Matic and Fabregas, so far, they're just not there. They're nowhere near the standards. The standards that they set last season. And I think that the fact that we're trying to bring in another defensive mid is very, very positive, because I think that's one of our weakest points so far this season. But I don't know if he's the right player. He is not that experienced, doesn't have any Champions League experience. He hasn't played for his national team. He's Ghanaian, by the way. He plays for Cagliari, which is a mid-table Serie A team. And he, by the way, for stats-wise, last season he scored 2 goals, 1 assist. So he's not really, an attacking. He's not a Fabregas type player. He's more of a Matic kind of guy who holds that defense together, who brings that strength and stability. So you know what? I don't think he's exactly the right player, but I think it's very, very positive that Chelsea are looking at their options. They're looking at different central defensive mids that they can go for. And that's what we needed, and that's what we lacked throughout this entire window. But finally, it seems like our board has realized we need transfers, and that is a good thing. And now we get to the even crazier, like the headline stories. And I'm probably going to name the title after the next 3 stories that are going to come. And it just gets crazy. Chelsea, as it says, £33.7 million for Isco. That's a lot of money, but he's a great player. He's a phenomenal player. And this was actually reported yesterday, so I'm a bit late to report this. But apparently, we're gonna sign him, or we're thinking about signing him. And what's positive is that Real Madrid have signed Kovacic, and Kovacic plays in a similar position to Isco. He plays in that central midfield role, and of course, Isco is a full-on attacking midfielder, while Kovacic can kind of balance. He can play as the 2 in the 4-2-3-1, because of course Real Madrid play a 4-2-3-1 as well. He can play in that 2, kind of fill in for Khedira, I guess, in a way. But he can also play in that Isco role, that James Rodriguez role. And if you think about it, they've got Rodriguez, who's their first team player, and they've just brought in Kovacic. So what does that say about them? What does that say about Isco? What does that say about his future at the club? I think that's very, very positive for Chelsea and Juventus, who are being very strongly linked with Isco as well. And you know what? To be fair, I don't think central attacking mid is the main area of reinforcement for us. I think the 2 positions that we need are striker and defensive mid. But no, it wouldn't hurt to have another creative midfielder. Oscar, he's a great player. I think he's going to be great this season. But every player has a rough patch. And if Oscar gets injured or if he's having some bad form, we have no one to fill in for him. We can have Fabregas move up, but he's just not very good at that attacking role, in my opinion. Just last season, whenever he played as that number 10, Chelsea didn't play very well. Willian can come in, but of course he's more of a winger. He's more comfortable bombing down that side and putting in crosses. And Hazard actually did play as a number 10 against Man City. I think he did quite well. But I think Isco, bringing in Isco, because the main thing about him is that he can pass, he can do everything well, but he takes shots. He takes shots, and that's what we're missing. That's the key component in our attack. I said this in the match review yesterday. We're playing like Arsenal, and that's worrying. And I think he could go a long ways to solve that problem. He could add that extra, artillery to our side that we're missing. So I'm very, very happy that we're being linked with him. Personally, I don't think it's gonna happen, but it does show the intent of the Chelsea board that we're even being linked with him. And now the last 2 stories got me exciting. They got me Antoine Griezmann, let's talk about him. Griezmann, we've been linked with him last season, very strongly in the summer, but then of course he went to Atletico Madrid. And this summer we were always kind of linked with him. Even in January we were linked with him, and earlier this summer we were kind of linked with him. He's just that player that we're always linked with. He's like Karim Benzema to Arsenal. He's just always linked with them no matter what. And it's looked very, very unlikely until now. But Abramovich apparently has given the thumbs up to signing Antoine Griezmann, and apparently Chelsea are going to put in a bid, just an opening bid of £21 million for Griezmann. Of course, Griezmann is worth more than that. I think his buyout clause is somewhere near £50 million, and I would imagine to sign a player of his quality, we'd need to pay around £40 million for him, because that's just how good he is. But apparently Chelsea are just going to open up the bid with a £21 million bid. Hopefully we do progress quickly, because we only have 2 weeks left in the transfer window. But I think this is very, very good, and I'm very, very happy. Griezmann, he can play striker, he can play right wing, and he can play central attacking mid. Those 3 positions, we need reinforcement. We're not looking strong, and especially that striker role. Diego Costa's just on another planet. He's just gone right now. Who knows? He can fill in that gap, and he can fill it in very, very well. That's what she said. Griezmann, what am I talking about? Griezmann, I think he's a very, very good player. I'd be happy to pay £45 million for him. I think he's good enough to be worth that much. Personally, I don't see this happening. I'm just being honest with you. I don't think this is going to happen. But it's great to see that Abramovich himself is getting involved in this. It clearly shows that the Chelsea board want transfers. We're looking at players. And, amid all this rumors, it feels like Chelsea will sign a marquee signing this season. Of course, we did sign Baba Rahman, Begovic, Falcao, but we haven't signed that star player, last season Anyway, now every transfer window, we've signed that star player, like last season, Diego Costa, Fabregas, the season before, Willian, and the season before that, Hazard, and before, Oscar and Mata, We haven't had that this season, and I think it's good to see that Chelsea are trying to find players, and I do think we will make a big signing by the end of this window. And the final rumor got me really excited. I'm very excited today, Because the reason I'm really excited about this is because I can see it happening. I can see it happening. And Lacazette, if you guys don't know, he's a quality striker, plays for Olympique Lyon. He's a French striker playing in the French league. He's been targeted by Arsenal, by Liverpool throughout this window. He's a very good player. That just shows you, the fact that Arsenal and Liverpool are looking at him shows you how good he is. And I really hope this does happen. He's a very physical player. He can put in headers, he can take shots, he can get past players. In a way, he's similar to what Diego Costa was last season. He's similar to that. And don't get me wrong, it makes me... Now, when I talk, it sounds like Diego Costa's gone. It sounds like Diego Costa is just never going to get back. I do think he will get back to his best. I do think the entire Chelsea team as a whole will get back to their soon and get back to their form soon, and they will rediscover, you know, the form that they achieved last season. But it's taken a while. And if he does get injured, we don't have a quality world-class striker to come in, and he could be it. And the rumor is a £21 million bid, similar to Griezmann, but plus Loic Remy. And Loic Remy, I'd say he's around £15 million. So that's around a £35 million bid for Lacazette. But the thing is, Lacazette, earlier this summer, in fact this July I think, he signed a new 5-year contract with Lyon. Which is why a lot of people are saying, you know, he's not going to sign for us, which is why Arsenal have kind of slowed down their interest on him. And you know what, it is really sad. It seems kind of discouraging, that the fact that he has signed a 5-year deal. But I think if Chelsea come knocking on the door, imagine you're Lacazette and the champions of England come knocking on the door, and they're managed by the best manager in world football, or one of the best managers. That's controversial. One of the best managers in world football. I don't think Lacazette will turn it down. And he is still a young player, and he hasn't really had that opportunity to establish himself in the best league. And, you know, whether it's Liga BBVA or whether it's the Premier League, he hasn't had that opportunity, and he hasn't had the opportunity to shine in European football as well. He hasn't had the chance to go to a knockout stage and score that goal that gets his team through to the next round. You know, to get himself, you know, more in the visibility of the global spotlight. And this could be an opportunity for him to do so if he comes to Chelsea. Lyon will be very reluctant to let him go. It will be a tough battle to sign him. But I can personally see this happening. I'm not saying we're gonna sign him. I'm not putting any money on it. But I do see this happening. I do think that this is a lot more likely than the Griezmann bid. And I really hope this goes through. I would be ecstatic if this goes through, because offensively, in fact, Chelsea defensively, we look terrible. Offensively, we look worse. We are just terrible. I can talk for 30 minutes, and I feel like this video has been very long already. I don't want to keep you guys for so long, but as you can see, it's very evident. Today has been a crazy day. I hope that the rest of the transfer window is as exciting as this, and this shows Chelsea's intent, and I think this is huge. The fact that Chelsea are now, you know, opening up their mind to signing a player, because earlier on this window, we had no rumors, and Mourinho would always say, we have good players, we're champions, we don't need any more signings. But now he's saying, in fact, he did say in the post-match to Manchester City, he did say, the transfer window is always open. You never know what's going to happen. And that shows a shift in mentality, a shift in thinking, and I think that's exactly what we need. Hopefully, one of these signings do come through, and when it does come through, I'll be the first to report it. But that's just about wraps it up for today. And just to talk about the channel for just a little bit, tomorrow, there's going to be a very exciting video coming up. It's a series that I haven't ever done before. It's a completely new type of video. I'm very happy. I'm very excited. I'm going to keep it a secret. You'll just have to tune in tomorrow. By the way, if you want to be notified of that, be sure to hit that subscribe button below. You'll be automatically notified. And that just kind of wraps up the video for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the news. And I'll be back with a video tomorrow. And until then, stay blue.